Hey there guys, and welcome back to another video with Logishaw. I got Mike here, and we're back with more interactive horror stories. Now, today we're going into the Crystal Skull. I am hoping that I can read better than usual. It's not exactly something I'm used to. I don't usually read out. I usually read to myself in my head. So, I do apologize for my continual stuttering and whatnot that happens. Also, I got a little bit of a thing going on with my sinuses with the whole weather changing thing, so I tried to ignore that part. But yes, Crystal Skull, here we go. Let's hop on in. You are a king who is loved by his people. You have a serious problem, though. Your only child, Juliana, has an incurable disease, and she is dying. Oh. You hear about a crystal skull, which can cure illnesses and let people have visions. It is brought to your palace from the continent of America, but your man warns you that the skull might be cursed. Will the crystal skull bring health to the princess, or doom? Let's find out. I don't want to press a key, I just want to click. Alright. Okay, yeah, no, we're in it. Your daughter, Juliana, is ill. She's only 18 years old. And I forgot that this thing had little grammar things. That's going to throw me off with reading as well. She's only... Excuse me. I just had some monster as well. She's only 18 years old, and she has got an illness that nobody could cure yet. Princess is dying, and she is your only child and heir to the throne. Every doctor you could find tried to cure her. You've tried almost everything. Almost. You have been informed about a miraculous artifact unearthed in the continent of America, because everything happens in America. It is a human skull made of crystal. It amazes the scholars because no method is known to carve up such an excellent shape of a skull out of crystal. The skull doesn't belong to the world that you know, but to an ancient civilization that has been lost. But what amazes the scholars is not just the impossible creation. The skull is told to bring miracles to whom touches it with their bare hands. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. There's these lines here, and I'm really hoping that that's the game and not my computer. Some people tell that they saw visions from the future. Some tell that they saw how the human race was originated. And some tell that the skull can cure their illnesses. Those couldn't be cured with medication available to your era. What era are we in, by the way? I do see that, we have a globe. So we have to be late 1600s, I think? Is that when the globe was done? I feel like it was done surprisingly early on. Once they realized that the world wasn't flat. Because it's not. Naturally, you ordered your best men to bring the miraculous skull to the palace. So what did you do? If this was unearthed in America, did you just, send people over there and be like, hey, can I borrow this skull, or no? I don't know. It's midnight now. You are in Juliana's chambers. She's lying in her bed, holding your hand as you sit by her bed. No candles are lit inside. Full moon enlightens the princess's chamber, shining on her long blonde hair and blue eyes. She is too weak. Her skin is pale. She has under-eye bags, showing her illness. That doesn't necessarily mean illness. I know a lot of people that have under-eye bags. I'm one of them. Because insomnia. And all that other good stuff. You already suffered the loss of your wife 10 years ago. Now you can't stand seeing your only daughter slowly die. Juliana asks you with a soft voice, Father, am I going to die? Ah, ooh. I won't allow that, or eventually, yes. See, personally, I would kind of do both. It'd be like, eventually you will die. We will all die. However, I'm not going to allow that to happen without trying to make it take as long as possible. It's like, I'm going to do everything I can to make it so that you don't die from this. It's giving truth, but it's also giving hope. And I don't know. I don't see a 3 option over here. There's no 3. I mean, he is a king. Eventually, yes. She sighs. It is so sad. I'm a princess with ambitions, ambitious to become a ruler, and it is certainly not about personal gain. I want to continue what you do. I want to be a fair ruler and make our people happy. She continues. But I think this is life. Excuse me. Death conquers all. Yes. I forgot that the game did that. Somebody is knocking upon my chamber door. The door of the chamber is knocked on. I noticed the servants generally don't disturb the royal family members at night, so it must be something important. Come in. A brunette boy, one of your servants, gets inside the chamber with politeness. He looks at you and says, Your Majesty, the artifact has been found. You've been waiting for this moment for a long time. Yes, kiss her forehead. I will come back. After you kiss Juliana's forehead and say, I will come back, she brings your hand to her pale lips and kiss it. Then you leave Juliana alone in her chamber. At the exit of Juliana's chamber, you see Sir William, one of the knights, those were appointed with the task. See Sir William, one of the knights who were appointed with the task of bringing the ancient skull. He is a strong man, that was me, I'm sorry, with black hair and a round beard. He wears gloves and holds a bag. Your Majesty, he says, and kneels before you. Signal for him to stand up. Let's go to my study chamber. Why to the study chamber? I mean, if this thing's supposed to work miracles, wouldn't you want it to work its miracle, as soon as possible? I don't know. Sir William follows you as you walk to your study chamber. The chamber is well lit with silver candlebrooms. All the furniture is classy. It is a king's study room, after all. There is only one chair. It is for you. You sit on it. Sir William stands by you and slowly pulls the artifact from his bag. You push the books on the study desk to open space for the artifact. Here it is, he says, and gently puts the crystal skull on the study desk. I take it that the background here, that is our desk. And books have been moved over there. We got the globe there. Okay. So that's where we are. I'm assuming that's supposed to be a fireplace back there. So this is our crystal skull. This is our desk. Rather empty for a desk, now that I look at mine. I got stuff everywhere. The skull is truly a masterpiece, if it is crafted by humans. All the details of a human skull are imprinted with care on raw crystal. Lights coming from the candles are refracted inside the crystal, gaining various colors of a rainbow. It's magnificent, but you sense something sinister, something that doesn't belong to our world. Excuse me, sorry. Did you knights touch the skull? Did I just hear something in my ear? Or was that my imagination? I don't know. Yes, we did touch the skull with our bare hands, and we all had visions. We took glances from our futures. Some of us saw how they will die. Some of us saw our grandchildren, he continues, but maybe we shouldn't have touched the skull. The day we were about to leave, a native man came to us. He looked like the chief of his tribe. He knew little of our language, but he shouted some words that we could understand. Cursed, no touch. So we haven't touched the skull with our bare hands again. Kinda already did it, though. I know that our princess needs to find a cure. I also know that we received reliable information about the magical powers of this skull when it comes to incurable diseases. But Your Majesty, I have got a very bad feeling about this skull. I believe that the wise decision is to throw this skull to the sea. Okay. So. We can either say, I can't let Juliana die, she will touch the skull, or I trust your insight. Let's do it. So, for game's sake, we would, for the best thing, we would probably want to trust his insight and take this beautiful creation and yeet it into the ocean. However, our daughter is dying. She is dying. That we've tried every possible way of healing and curing her, and nothing has worked, and she's getting worse and worse. It's clear at this point, she will die. So, in the desperate mind of a father, this might just be the last possible thing that could cure our little girl. So, we gotta try it. Besides, if the item's cursed, they've already touched it and whatnot. We yeet it into the ocean, it could easily just yeet itself back. So, the knight sighs, as you wish, Your Majesty. But if you're going to bring the skull to her, I wish you would wear gloves. See, this is one of those, I could touch it with my bare hands, and, I would see visions. I might see that she's alive. I might see that she is going to die anyway, or touching it with my hands, I might be some kind of sick, and then it sucks up that miracle juice, and now I'm better, but it won't work for my daughter, so. Besides, if I see visions and whatnot, it might take me longer to get to my daughter, which means she might be dead before I even get there, so I'm going to wear gloves. You look for gloves around the study chamber, so William pulls his own gloves off. I think you wish Juliana to touch the skull as soon as possible. Yeah. Let's not wait for servants to find your gloves, he says, and gives you them. You wear the gloves and hold the crystal skull with your covered hands. Let me bring the skull to Juliana. You thank Sir William for his services, and let him go. Let him go? Did we fire him? That's not very nice. You carry the skull to Juliana's chamber. You enter her chamber and see that she hasn't slept yet. She rises up and sits on her bed. She looks at the skull in awe. I mean, that is a beautiful piece of work. I can only imagine the lights, going through it and refracting and whatnot. It looks marvelous and scary, she says. You approach Juliana and let her touch the skull. As she touches the skull, she closes her eyes and doesn't react to anything in external world. You understand that she is having a vision. At least you hope. After 10 seconds, she opens her eyes with a gasp. I saw things. I don't know how to describe them. They were pitch black creatures. Oh. Great. So ugly. Their eyes, they were red as flames. They all stared at me. You're going to hell, love. I don't know what you did, but you're going to hell. She starts to cry. Please keep this thing away from me. Please, I want to be alone. So you decide to keep the skull in your study room and let your daughter sleep. After this tiring day, you go to your chamber. There are no guards at the door. You just trust everybody in the palace. You are a loved king. A loved king would get murdered before an unloved king is gonna say. The furniture are luxurious in this chamber too. Ignore it. You take a glance at your reflection in the mirror. Well, then examine yourself. You take pride in how you look. You're a middle-aged man, but you still look as handsome as you were young. Your looks are an important factor that makes you a charismatic leader, besides being fair and wise. Let us sleep. You wear your nightgown and get in your bed. It is a bed for 2 people, but you haven't slept with anyone since your wife passed away. You have a secret that you keep from everyone. Sometimes you hug the second pillow in your bed as if it was someone you love. You do this since your childhood. Nobody needs to know it. It doesn't take long for you to fall asleep. That is a little sad, but kind of expected. Father? You wake up to Juliana's voice. She gently holds your shoulder. You look at her. She has a happy smile on her face. Her skin is not pale, but saturated with life. She no longer has bags under her eyes. I feel wonderful. This bitch got a good night's sleep. She takes a few steps back and starts dancing. You laugh with happiness, stand up and hug her. What's the catch? Any second now, there's going to be a catch, and there's going to be a loud thing in my ears. I know it. I see it. It's coming. Juliana walks in the corridors of the palace, dancing and laughing. You and the people of the palace are very happy to see her. Stop tracing with the mouse. You and the people of the palace are very happy to see her this way. She used to be like a ghost before. You plan a feast and invite all the lords of the kingdom. A few days later, every lord arrives to the capital city to celebrate the health of the princess. At the feast, Juliana is the center of everybody's attention. She talks with everyone joyfully, makes jokes, and makes people laugh. When the feast is over and it's midnight, everybody goes to the chambers reserved for them. You accompany Juliana to her chamber. You put a kiss on her forehead before letting her sleep. Then you go to your own chamber and fall asleep in peace. There's the sound. I knew that was coming. You wake up to the sound of knocking on your chamber's door. Ha! I get that reference. I made that reference. It's still night. You wonder who dared wake you up at this hour. So open the door. It's the same brunette boy who had informed you about the arrival of the skull. Your Majesty, I am deeply sorry for disturbing you at this hour, but there's something wrong. There are laughing sounds coming from the princess's chamber. It's her voice, but it doesn't sound normal. Let me check it. Stop with the door. You walk to Juliana's chamber. Like the servant said, hysterical laughter has come from inside. You decide to enter, because I am a king, this is my house, and I go where I want. You see Juliana at the balcony of her chamber, facing back facing you. She laughs under the pale moon. You approach her and put your hand on her shoulder. She turns back to you, and she has no face. Oh, her face is normal and smiling. Okay, I was expecting a reference to the doll. Just when you were going to ask if she is okay, she responds, I know it looks funny, Father, but I'm fine. Please, leave me alone, she says. She stops laughing, gets in her bed with a smile on her face. You decide to leave her alone. You go back to your chamber. You can't sleep. You feel something is wrong. So wrong. Stop with the door sounds, please. Stop it. It's just annoying at this point. The door of your chamber opens. There's only one person who is allowed to enter without knocking on the king's door. So you understand that it's Juliana who entered. Like you guessed, you see your daughter's silhouette. She closes the door and approaches you with a smile on her face. It's starting to get a little creepy. Are we about to be stabbed to death by our daughter? Juliana? She leans down to you, gently pulls the other pillow that you don't use. Juliana is dead, she says, pushing the pillow on your face. You struggle, but whoever, or whatever, is trying to kill you is too strong. The king is dead. Long live the king, she shouts. Why is your own daughter committing patricide, regicide, and referring herself as king rather than queen? That doesn't make any sense at all. This is the end of your reign and life. Do you know how difficult it is to... I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before. How difficult it is to smother someone with a pillow. You take the pillow, you put it on their face, and they're supposed to suffocate, right? Except for you still breathe through the fabric of the pillow. Like, legitimately. It's very difficult for that to have worked. The end. There are 3 endings to this one. 3 endings, you say? Okay. I am tempted to jump in and do another one, but I remember with the doll, I said I was going to do 1 playthrough for each of these, and if you guys wanted to see the other ones, you could go down in the description and get the game for yourself. It is free, so there's no reason not to. So yeah, I'm going to call this episode here. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.